Here's your host, Alex Garrett.
Well, if you hear that, and you will be hearing it a lot if you're going to the US Open, Mets will appoint, of course, the stop on the LIR. If you're hearing that, and you have an appreciation for tennis, then I got a guest for you I want you to meet tonight. If you haven't met him already, Ted Dimond. He is the artist behind The Art of Tennis, which was just on display at the Detour Gallery this weekend. Pretty cool art. I posted some of it on Alex G NYC1. But Ted was kind enough to join me on One Leg Up with Alex Garrett, and he's got some big names he's been connected to in the professional tennis world. I'm here with Ted Dimond.
Hey, one sec.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I'm going to do this quick thing, and then I'm going to tell you, did you get your energy?
I'm here with Ted Dimond. Congratulations on this huge exhibit.
Thank you.
Thanks for having a lot of the public out today.
Well, thank you
and
for coming.
joining my podcast. So, first of all, the ones that catch my eye, Serena Williams, Federer, Nadal, and of course McEnroe. You must have a passion for tennis if you're painting about it, right?
Yeah, I was a coach and a player. I played professional tennis and I coached. I actually worked with John and Patrick McEnroe and helped run the McEnroe Academy for years. So that was my passion for decades.
And taking your talents off the court into the, studio, if you will, what's that like to paint all these?
It's a lot of fun. I get, it's my passion. I try to capture iconic moments in tennis, and I know tennis so well. I've lived most of these moments, and I get a great reception from the players. Most of the players have one of my portraits. Either they've gotten it as a trophy or they've gotten it as gifts, but most of the guys have a player portrait.
Ted, anybody I might know that you've coached that we could, say, oh yeah, you coached that guy?
I've coached some good players. I mean, some players, a lot of juniors that are up and coming now,
nice.
that are good players that someday are gonna do something. So we'll see.
One last thing while I have you here.
Sure.
Rafa Nadal not being in the U.S. Open, is he going to retire? I mean, do you have any insight for that, or what's your thought?
I don't really have any insight, but there's no way that he's not going to give one more shot. If he's going to retire, it's going to be at Roland Garros with a real ceremony. But, because it's Rafa, he's only going to commit to playing if he thinks he can win the tournament. He's not going to do a one match and say goodbye to everybody. So, but I was at, when Andre Agassi gave his last hurrah at the U.S. Open, I was at every match, and he walked out on the court like he could barely move, and the guy played, three epic matches and came back and won 2 matches in 5 sets. So you never know with the crowd behind Rafa what he could do.
The Connors McEnroe rivalry, that'd be so much fun to cover and all that.
Yeah, they're great rivalries. Tennis, that's the beauty of tennis. There's all these great rivalries, and the next generation comes up, and now we have Alcaraz and Sinner, and they're just amazing, and it's fun to have a new generation and paint a whole new crop of players.
Well, exactly. Hopefully get Taylor Fritz up on the walls too.
I did a painting of Taylor. He took it though.
That's so cool. Well, thanks for joining me, Ted.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you. Very cool, and congrats to Ted Dimond. By the way, he actually did, during the Masters, he did a golf exhibition as well with his artistry. It was called The Art of Tennis this weekend, and hey, maybe you'll get to meet him or see him at the U.S. Open, since he seems very connected as a former professional tennis player. And how cool is this weekend, or this whole upcoming 2 weeks? The weekend before the U.S. Open, and then the weeks of the U.S. Open, and the competition, the intensity, all in our backyard in Flushing, Queens. There's quite nothing like it. Gabby and I were on the plaza last year when Djokovic won again. And that was a pretty cool moment. The crowd outside the arena was as ecstatic as they were inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. So, Ted Dimond, thanks for joining me. And who knows, maybe we'll see you around the grounds at the U.S. Open. Big 2 weeks coming up in the world of tennis, as we are the 4th and final leg of the Grand Slam tournament. And the question is, who will have one leg up at the U.S. Open? Or we got to find out. We got to see. Taylor Fritz battled at Wimbledon. Coco Gauff, what can you say about her? Right, she's been unbelievable. I mean, all over the map. Just exciting stuff to look forward to with the U.S. Open. And yes, on the eve of WCBS 880 shutting down, I want to say real quick, growing up listening to them on the Yankees as a Yankees network, and your news and traffic and Tom Kaminsky and all that, we're going to miss them all, and I'm praying for the talent tonight as at 12:01 a.m. they do flip the switch off of historic News Radio 880 WCBS, and now they've already rebranded to Mets Radio 880. So the changes are here, and as David Bowie says, we've got to turn and face the strange on the Alex Garrett Podcast Network. Thanks again, Ted Dimond, for joining, and we'll talk to you soon on the Alex Garrett Podcast Network.